theory of a coal bunker fire contributing to the sinking of Titanic has been a topic of discussion seemingly since the early 2000s, despite the fire being known at the time of the sinking. The fire was briefly discussed at the Mersey Inquiry in May 1912. The Mersey Inquiry was created by the British Board of Trade to investigate the circumstances of the disaster. The fire theory states, based on an opinion of an eyewitness, that the bulkhead between boiler rooms 5 and 6 had potentially failed. This allowed water to spill into a seemingly dry boiler room 5 from a flooded boiler room 6, thus accelerating the sinking of the ship significantly, as boiler room 5 would have been the 6th consecutive breached watertight compartment. The thought process is that the fire damaged the bulkhead, thus making it incapable of holding the water as it was designed to. Based on Fireman Barrett's testimony at the Mersey Inquiry, shortly after impact, boiler room 5 had damage in its coal bunker and was visibly flooding through the ship's side. After being directly asked by the Inquiry Commissioner, he confirms the watertight bulkhead was holding the water back and that the room was dry, implying the water was only inside the coal bunker. A little later, per his testimony, while in boiler room 5, he encountered a rush of water from the forward end of the ship. They discussed the possibility that this water came from above the bulkhead or that it came from the coal bunker, as it was agreed that the bunker was containing water. It was later asked again to Barrett by a different investigator if he had seen the watertight bulkhead give way when this rush of water overtook boiler room 5, and Barrett said he didn't stop to look, meaning he felt he was in danger. Barrett also claimed he shut the coal bunker door after seeing water coming through the hole into this bunker, shortly after collision. The point is that there is no eyewitness testimony indicating that the watertight bulkhead between boiler rooms 5 and 6 failed. Barrett states both boiler rooms were breached on impact, albeit number 5's breach was totally inside the coal bunker. Based on a 1998 expedition to the ship's wreck, the damage described by Barrett was visible to the naked eye, confirming his eyewitness testimony 86 years later. In conclusion, the premise of this fire theory is that a watertight bulkhead, which was designed to stop water from passing through, failed as a result of damage caused by a coal fire, but there is no evidence that this bulkhead ever failed. Also at the Mersey Inquiry, one of the ship's designers, Edward Wilding, states that the fire would not injure this bulkhead. In terms of my opinion, I don't believe this bulkhead or any bulkhead of the Titanic failed due to water pressure trying to equalize on both sides of it. If anyone did witness a bulkhead failing due to water pressure, it is likely they would not have survived. Whether a bulkhead failed as the ship's superstructure broke in half is irrelevant to this topic. The rush of water Barrett described likely was from the coal bunker rupturing, as it was unable to withstand the buildup of water pressure any longer, as it was designed to store coal, not water. Generally speaking, in my experiences in design engineering, engineered parts and assemblies typically perform their intended function until they experience conditions they are not designed to experience. If the amount of water that will be contained by a bulkhead is known, it is fairly simple to calculate the expected stress on the bulkhead. The bulkhead is then designed to easily withstand that stress with an additional factor of safety, which is standard industry practice. The watertight bulkhead in this case would have experienced conditions they were designed for. That is, if there is water building on one side, the bulkhead should easily resist the water pressure exerting onto it and keep the dry side dry. I may create a separate video discussing more scientific reasons as to why the coal fire did not cause this bulkhead's failure. Thanks for watching.